emotions, we just keep it down, down inside. Yeah, you and I, both longing for expression for the things we like, but we stay quiet. Hold me now, tell me things, tell me all about how you feel. Just let yourself go. Say it loud, wake the world on the other.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Elite Ace Aviation. And on today's video, we're going to be flying from Paris to Rome, and we are going to be taking the beautiful A320 with the Vulcan Air skins. Guys did an amazing job designing this skin. Really like it. The detail and attention to detail is just amazing. So right now we do have the ramp connected, we have the GPU connected, and we are going to momentarily get in the aircraft and start this thing up and get in the air. So what I will say about this flight today is I do not have the fly-by-wire A320 in today, mainly because been having some issues with it. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is. There's some things for me that isn't working correctly. It could be on my end. I'm not sure. So we're just going to fly on the stock A320 just to make sure there are no issues. And even though there are issues with the stock A320, but either way, let's go ahead and jump in the cockpit and get this thing started. Alright guys, so we are inside of the Airbus. We got our external power on, and we're just going to go ahead and quickly run through this little checklist. Now for those of you that have issues with the Airbus, especially the stock one, there are a couple little things that you can do for some of those deals that you know, maybe I may be able to help you out with some of those things. So let's go ahead and turn the engine bleed air switches on. Let's go ahead and turn the APU master on. That is on. APU start, we will go ahead and hit on, and APU bleed will be coming on. External power, we can go ahead and turn external power off, since now our APU is coming up, which I'm actually not going to turn external power off yet. Sorry. I want to make sure our APU gets on and we see available before we turn external power off. And what we can do is go ahead and turn the fuel pumps on. We'll go ahead and turn our strobe and beacon lights on. And see our APU is available. Now we can go ahead and turn the external power off. And this is very simple here as far as the engine starts. Make sure your throttle is at idle. We're going to go ahead and turn engine ignition to on or start. And we'll go ahead and start both engines. Alright, so both engines are coming up. We're going to monitor our N2 here. The engines are coming up. Everything looks good. I always switch to nav. Some people may not. Some people may go a different mode. I'm going to go ahead and go to 40 right now. And we will put our constraints on, although ATC will assign us whatever they want. But it looks like right here around the turn, we're going to be at 29, 47, 7,010 by a Bobo. Although I'm sure that is not what will happen according to ATC. Hopefully my co-pilot will talk. If not, I will have to do that. So it appears we're going to have to. So let's go ahead and get clearance. There we go.
A320 IFR to Fiumicino ready to copy. 84 seating is cleared to Fiumicino Airport as filed. Take off runway 9 climb and maintain 13,000 feet.
13,000.
Frequency is 125.7 squawk 5312.
Okay, so 13,000 we're going to maintain. Climb and maintain.
Cleared to Fiumicino Airport as filed. Take off runway 9 climb and maintain 13,000 feet. Departure on 125.7 squawk 5312.
Go ahead and set the nose to taxi.
84 ECD readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.9 when ready to taxi. LA Bourget ground, 84 ACD, requesting pushback. A4ACE pushback. Request accepted.
We don't really need a pushback, with the exception of all these vehicles are all around the aircraft, but we'll go ahead and do it. Go ahead and select that to go ahead and turn our parking brake off. Although you would technically request pushback before engine start, but I didn't have my co-pilot on to say that, so. All right, so, you know, as you can see, the startup on the aircraft as far as the stock A320 is not too bad. I don't mind it. It's not bad at all. I am having some issues with the fly-by-wire. It's sometimes it doesn't want to load for some reason, and I'm not sure exactly why, so I'm trying to figure that out. But we'll get it figured out one way or the other. So guys, basically right now we have been on Flight Simulator anyway, a kind of like a round the world flight type deal when we get the time, and been very cool. Have not recorded all of it, but you know, we're gonna record this leg of it, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. But really like flying the A320. Flown the fly-by-wire some on the trip, and then some not. It depends on when I was having issues with it. And like I said, I don't necessarily believe that is necessarily the fly-by-wire that is having the issue. It could be something in my, you know, particular software or whatever. But nonetheless, wanted to fly the A320 down to Rome, so we're gonna fly the stock. And honestly, I really don't mind this aircraft. It has some issues. Definitely, some of the buttons do not work. Some of them are in op, but it's definitely far from unflyable. Hopefully, they will let us request takeoff clearance.
LA Bourget Tower, 84 ACE ready for IFR departure runway 9er.
84 ACE
Yeah, okay.
Takeoff runway 9er.
Go ahead and put flaps.
Cleared for takeoff runway 9er 84 ACE.
All right, so let's go ahead and turn out here. And so basically how I'm going to fly this is we're going to get up in the air now. We're going to go ahead and do a roll and takeoff. We're going to get up in the air, and I'm going to level out just a little bit, but I want the autopilot on and engaged before we get to that turn. And so one thing I did not do is go ahead and enter my speed I want to be at, but I can do that in the air, even though it is more work. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter, I'm going to go ahead and enter 250 for right now. I'm going to go ahead and climb at 2,500.
Going to
Oh, of course it did that.
784 ACE. Paris Center, 84 ACE is climbing through 1,300 feet for 13,000 feet.
And it did it again because I'm doing this incorrectly.
Paris Center, continue to PB 093 as planned. Altimeter tree, 0.34. Egypt Air 778, contact Paris Center on 118.05.
All right, so it's going to level out here.
Overspeed.
Let's go ahead and set the throttle to climb.
Egypt Air 778.
And we should start climbing here now. And I've got it set for 250 until we get over 10,000. And then we will go ahead and bump that speed up. There's the Gaulle, which, by the way, is a nightmare on frames for me. I'm not sure why. That is the premium airport in Paris, but it was pretty bad.
118.05 for 84 ACD. Paris Center, 84 ACD.
We're good on freezing right now.
400 feet for 13,000 feet. 84 ACE Paris Center, continue to PB 093 as planned. Altimeter tree, 0.35.
I'm going to go ahead and engage anti-ice right now. Don't have an issue with it temperature-wise at the moment, but did not check the upper level temperature. So just to be safe, we're going to go ahead and engage that. And I honestly think the cloud layers are pretty low, so I don't think we're going to have anything to worry about there. But here's our flight plan. This is what we're doing. Let's go ahead and go to GPS so I can show. So right now, it's basically the autopilot's taking a little shortcut to be able to hit that other waypoint. So basically, you go from Ducra, and you do not have another waypoint until looks like there's so many of them on here. Yeah, DO64 Foxtrot. So Delta Oscar 64 Foxtrot will be our next waypoint, and so it's just kind of taking a little shortcut to where we can get on that line a little better. Obviously it can't take that sharp of a turn, and so we're still making that turn. We're at 7,000 feet now. We're climbing at 2,500 feet per minute. The optimal climb for an A320, what they say is 2,000 feet per minute, somewhere around there, but I find 2,500 feet you can do pretty well. And maintain your speed and climb at a decent rate. So, all right. So we're still making some little turns and adjustments here. Now, as you can see, ATC gave us 13,000 straight out of the gate, which we should not be at 13,000 until down here. But I am going to go ahead and get to 13,000. So we can go ahead and level this flight out. Alright, so we are coming up on 13,000. And we can go ahead and increase our speed here. We're going to go ahead and increase it to about 330.
Climb and maintain flight level 240, 84 ACE.
And 240 is our new, oh goodness gracious, is our new altitude assignment. So we'll go ahead and go up to 24,000. And we'll climb at 2,500 feet a minute again. Oh, yeah, I gotta engage that. And then do that. There we go. So it is entered in. So now that I have my speed set for 330 and my climb rate at 2,500, one of the things you may see is the plane trying to level out and then climb again. Level out a little bit, climb again. Same thing would happen if you had this in managed altitude mode or managed speed mode. Instead of selecting a speed, you could go engage managed speed mode. What that's going to do is it's going to select the right speed or what it believes that you need to be at to make a certain climb to a certain altitude at a certain feet per minute, so on and so forth. Same thing with descent and everything else. I like to just go ahead and engage the speed. The plane will catch up with it. As you can see, we're at 2,500 feet per minute, but it's not really struggling to maintain 330. as of yet. Now, the higher we go, the more of a struggle it may be for the aircraft to maintain that speed. So, but as of right now, we are still in climb mode. We will set it to auto throttle on the throttle once we get to altitude, which will probably be 38 to 39,000 feet. So we got a little bit of altitude to climb still left, and so we are leaving Paris. Beautiful moon outside. The sun will be setting here before too long. So yeah, and we're on our way. Now, one of the things I do in the aircraft, especially landing at night. Now, the one good thing, I don't like the cockpit to be bright, and so you have all of your brightness switches here, here, here. You've got them underneath the autopilot panel, and then you also have them here, and you even got one up here for your overhead. And so I usually, if I'm going to be landing in the dark or as it starts getting dark, I like to go ahead and dim all of the displays. It just makes your landing and your visibility at night so much better. So if you find that you're having a problem in the A320 seeing at night because some of these displays are too bright, you have all of these options here. Now, I know some of you know this and some of you do not, so I do want to give that advice. Adjust your floodlight brightness, adjust all of your brightness settings. You've got 3 here, 2 under here. You also have them over here for these displays. You have the overhead, and you can adjust that here. And then you also have them down here, which is flood and your integ light. So this is basically going to control your brightness for all of your switches here. But it really does help at night. I couldn't recommend it enough if you're having some issues seeing at night. So we're on 22.9 now, coming up on 24. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my altimeter. See, now we are getting a little bit of wing rock. Right now it's not enough to really bother me too much. We do have a 25 knot crosswind basically on the aircraft, and that can cause some of that rocking. Just so you know, when you have that issue, especially in the A320, where the wings kind of rock left and right, and you will get that, especially on the stock aircraft, but you can even get it in the fly-by-wire aircraft. The biggest suggestion everybody's given is turn off autopilot, wait a couple seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever, and then re-engage the autopilot. It seems to help and level it out.
And maintain flight level 310.
All right, so 310.
Climb and maintain flight level 310 84 ACD.
Okay. 310, and we'll go back to 2,500 feet per minute. And you got to click down on that to engage it. And you will see right here, and let me get down a little bit, shows our vertical speed at 2,500 feet, so that tells you that it is engaged. You can also see it over here, and this is your actual. This is what you're actually doing. So we were at 24, now we're at 2,500 feet per minute. This is all your vertical speeds here. These are minuses, these are pluses, so plus or minus, and that'll tell you what your vertical speed is. As you can see over here, your blue arrow, that is where our speed is locked for 330. So that is 330. The yellow line is what we're actually doing. So we're doing a little bit under 330. It looks like about 323, 325. And but either way, we're close enough. So don't have to worry too much about that. We are making another turn now. And hopefully we will get somewhat of a tailwind. We have a little tailwind right now at 27 knots, but I'm hoping that once we get higher, we'll get a faster tailwind, and it'll move us along a lot better. Right now we're at 478 knot ground speed, and I expect that to climb as we get higher and as we get a better tailwind. So.
Climb and maintain flight level 390. Climb and maintain flight level 390 84 ACE. 84 ACE traffic in sight.
Beeline 245 have the traffic.
All right, so we are at altitude now. We are right at 39,000 feet, and we got about a 51 knot tailwind, ground speed of 528 knots, and it's giving me an overspeed warning. Come on. Let's go ahead and drop that power down. We'll go ahead and come out of climb and go into auto throttle power setting. We will be able to decrease the fuel flow. Right now we got, let's see, 17,789 kilograms of fuel on board, and taken out of the center tank at 5,628. So everything's looking good. Fuel, we will have plenty of fuel, and more than likely we will get there at dark. We still probably got about another hour and 25 minutes of flight time, and so we're gonna fly a little bit, and we'll check back in just a bit. All right, guys, so we are back. We are descending down to 17,000 feet. We are coming in. We are above Italy and descending. Let's see, descend and maintain flight level 190, they said. So this is the thing about ATC, is they will give you multiple altitude assignments, and I do not know why. It's kind of crazy. I am descending at 2,900 feet per minute. Some might say that's a little fast, but I don't believe so. I'm going to go ahead and turn down my brightness on my displays here, and we'll go ahead and turn these down as well. We don't really need those that much anyway. And we'll also turn these down, because it is getting dark. Sun is setting, but we probably will need to turn that stuff down. I'm even going to turn this down up here. Right here is where you decrease the sub-panel brightness. So we are descending to 19,000 now. Keep speed below 250 knots for whatever reason. So we're 248. So weird assignment that they're making us maintain speed below 250, and we're at 19,000. But I'm assuming they're probably trying to get us in and around here, and a lot of times they may do that for, in real life, spacing out aircraft, or getting you around different airspaces, whatever the case may be. So as that sunlight is coming out, we're going to take a quick view outside the cockpit and check out what that sunset looks like, guys. All right, so we're back in the cockpit here, and beautiful night over Italy. I'm going to go ahead and turn our landing lights to on so we don't have to worry about that later. I'm not going to do anything with flaps or any of that stuff right now. Our speed is technically a little bit higher than it needs to be, but it'll be fine. It will be fine. So we are flying into Rome, Italy tonight, and should be a pretty amazing approach. Going down to 10,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet, 84 ACD.
Go ahead and descend. We'll descend a little slower at 2,700 feet per minute. And we're going to go ahead and bring... Oh, not arc. Go ahead and bring this to about 40 miles. So right now, our waypoint of Romeo Fox 407, it looks like we're supposed to be 11,500, but they're bringing us down to 10,000. We're still at 17,000 at this waypoint, 9,550 at Rynad, and we will be at 10,000 probably by Rynad. But still fine. We're at 336 knots ground speed with a 8-knot tailwind here. So the water is pristique, I guess you could say, picturesque over here off our right wing, and not seeing too much lighting as far as on the ground yet. It's not quite dark enough, but I have a feeling probably about the time we're landing it'll be dark. We are going to be on ILS Approach, and guys, I will show you guys how we initiate the ILS Approach and all that good stuff, and what you need to do. The big thing to hit the localizer in your glide path is you got to be at the right altitude. See, this is ridiculous. I'm going to ignore that because we're already at 10,000. They're telling us to descend to 15,000 feet, but it's ridiculous. So I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to ignore it for two reasons. Number one, they already told us to go to 10,000. Now they're telling us to descend and maintain to 15,000, but we're already at 13. Our constraints here shows us we should be at 9,550 right here. At TAC or TAQ, we should be at 9,550, and then by our next waypoint should be at 5,000. Typically, on a localizer, when you're first going to hit the localizer, it's usually about 5,000 feet, and so definitely not going to climb to 15,000 feet. That is a bug in this sim as far as the air traffic control that wants to give you crazy altitude assignments. I will listen to altitude assignments for the most part, with the exception of when they try to get you to climb after they already gave you one altitude assignment 5 seconds earlier. So we're going to stay at 10,000, and we will wait for them to give us the next decrease, because that just wouldn't happen unless there was some kind of traffic avoidance or whatever. So we're going to maintain 10,000 as soon as we get there. Make sure our altimeter is set correctly. Now it is. And guys, I can't stress that enough. Make sure you're setting your altimeter correctly when you're descending or whatever, especially on an ILS approach, because you may think you're at 10,000, but you're really not. There we go. Now we got our 5,000 feet. And that is the bug, guys. Let me be able to click this down. And we're going to go ahead and go down to 5,000. And we'll go at about 2,800 feet per minute. We're going to go ahead and arm auto brakes to max. So our auto brakes will kick in once we hit the runway, and it'll give us a little more time to do what we got to do. Now, the bad thing is I do not have reverse thrust set up on my stick here. There's no way for me to do that on my current setup, but and I find that if you try to use reverse thrust on the ground when you're trying to look down and you're on the runway, you're either going to go off the runway or you're going to actually be pitching the nose up with the trim and not actually hitting the throttle. So I just try to avoid that. I try to make my approach as nice and good as possible. And so we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 fixes before, I think, let's see, R152, we should hit the glide path, I would think. And so for those of you that know nothing about the ILS or how you can do this in the sim, right now I am set to nav. Nav is going to follow this green line to a T. And you can't even set it to other ARC or whatever, or your flight plan if you're doing that, or VOR if you're doing that. But we're going to go ahead and set it to LS. And we're going to go ahead and select approach mode to on. Now, as you can see, now we have purple lines coming in. And these purple lines will eventually align once we get around there. But they will not do that until we get ready and get on our approach. Now, lately we have had a bug to where it doesn't actually show your ILS information here. We do have some green lines now. Sometimes they work, sometimes they do not, but either way. So right here is basically what we're lining up for. We want to line this pink line up with this, and the ILS over here selected to that, and approach, I arm both of those. It's going to do it for us. It's going to follow this, and then once we get on this last green line here, that'll be our final. This will come into this purple line, and it'll connect, and we'll be good to go. So I'm not, have no flaps out as of yet. Let's go ahead and look and see. We still got a decent ways to go. So I'm going to not touch my flaps yet or anything else. We're still flying at about 248, and we will slow this plane down considerably before we get into the runway here. So very smooth night here in Rome, Italy. Not much wind to speak of. We got a 3-knot tailwind. Looks like it's going to be a pretty smooth landing. Doesn't look like there's a lot of wind, no clouds. So now we should get our final. We're going to contact approach. They'll give us our final altitude assignment, more than likely.
84 ACD. Rome approach 84 ACD, 5,000 feet.
84 ACD Rome approach, continue to Charlie Mike Papa as planned. Altimeter 30.22.
30.22. All right, so guys, we're going to go ahead and put in 1 notch of flaps. And we're going to slow our airspeed down to our flap speed, which is going to be right under 220. We'll go 215. So we are at 215 knots. Just gonna check this map here. We're about to make a right turn. Start lining up. So we're making a turn now. Beautiful looking city at night though. I mean, amazing. Got that sunset off her right wing. It's just a gorgeous sky. Very few clouds to speak of, and very little wind, so it's really a perfect night to be flying into Rome. As they say, when in Rome, I don't know. What do you do in Rome? And so while we're in Rome, we're actually also going to have a video coming out, and it may already be out by the time this video is out, so not sure which video we're going to do and get out first, but we'll be doing a review video on a new pay-aware aircraft by Coronado, and I believe it'd probably be pretty cool to do it in Rome, so we'll do it while we're here on the way around the world. So from here we're going to go down to Africa. Africa is our next stop from Rome, and I will be sure to record that as well for you guys. I'm gonna go down and explore Africa, see what that's all about, and then probably from Africa want to hit up Dubai, and then from Dubai we're gonna try to make our way to Australia, and then from Australia to Hawaii back to the United States. And so we're gonna miss Japan and China and all that on this trip, and we're gonna miss South America, but so far we have been from South Carolina to Iceland, Iceland to Ireland, Ireland to UK, UK to France, and now from France to Italy. And so that has been our flight so far. Did not record the first part of our around the world trip, but gonna certainly record as much as we can on the last part of our around the world trip for you guys. So that'll be cool. And so I'm gonna go ahead and decrease speed a little bit more. We're gonna go ahead and go down to about 180. Go ahead and gauge that, and we're gonna go 2 notches of flaps. So there we are, we're at 180. And we will be putting our gear out here shortly. And our final is not, I don't believe it's a very long final at all. So I'm kind of hoping they're going to give us another altitude assignment here. I would say probably around 3,000, but if not, hopefully we can catch that localizer and be able to glide us on in. And I will take over as we get towards the ground. Like I said, the ILS system in Flight Sim, it slams you pretty hard into the runway if you just let it fly you all the way in. It will fly you all the way in, but what I have found on some airports is the ILS system is a little off of center of the runway on some airports. Some airports is perfect. Not sure what will happen here, but and part of that also could be wind or whatever the case is, but there has been airports that where there's no wind and we were left of center by a good bit. So I had to kind of take over towards the end and get the plane back lined up with the runway. So that looks like that's our runway right there.
Maintain 3,000 feet.
3,000. Called it. Called it.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet, 84 ACD.
So we'll go ahead and descend and maintain 3,000, and we'll just go 2,700 feet per minute. Go ahead and get down there and make sure we get on this glide slope here. We're gonna go ahead and go gear down as we're turning. We're gonna wait for 3 green. 3 green. Gear is down. Could be going down a little faster, so I'm going to go down a little bit faster.
84 ACE, we're 13 miles east of Fiume. Contact Fiume Tower on 127.625 when inbound.
Oh, we inbound, son.
Tower on 127.625, 84 ACE. Fiume Tower, 84 ACE, 13 miles, east
So
inbound
now we're
ILS
going to
runway
go ahead and
25
adjust
approach.
our final. Get back on that
84
line.
is Fiume Tower. Cleared ILS runway 25 approach. Altimeter tree 0.22, wind 286 at 4.
As you can see, this purple line is coming
Fiume
in.
Tower,
It's going to
84
connect with this
ACE,
one,
inbound
and
ILS
that will tell us we are
runway
lined
25
up.
approach.
84 is Fiume Tower. Cleared ILS runway 25 approach. Altimeter tree 0.22, wind 286 at 4.
And hopefully we do get on this like we should.
Cleared ILS runway 25 approach.
And you will see this
84
starts
ACE.
going down by itself. It'll start descending by itself as long as we are lined up and on the glide path. And so let's check it out. Beautiful city though. Got some buildings. Looks like a little downtown area here.
Fiume Tower City Liner 584 ready for IFR departure.
So now it looks like we are lined up completely. So we're going to see if we hit it.
584 cleared for takeoff runway 25.
And we're going to go ahead and adjust our speed down to about 155. Don't want to go too slow.
Cleared
Don't
for
want to really go
takeoff
below
runway
140.
25, City Liner 584.
And I am going to land with two flaps, 2 notches of flaps. And hopefully it's going to start descending us. Hopefully we hit it. Hopefully. Come on. If not, I'm going to have to bring this thing down pretty quickly. Just strange we're not coming down yet, but we should any moment now. Going to go ahead and slow it to 150. Definitely do not want to do a missed approach because it can be a cluster in flight sim. Why is our approach not on? See, we should have done hit it. Okay, we're going to have to send ourselves. I don't know why our approach was not on. So I have controls now.
84 is cleared to land runway 25. Wind 268 at 7.
Not sure why the approach went off.
Cleared to land runway 25, 84 ACD.
More than likely, we cannot catch it now that we'll see, but I doubt it. Yeah, not gonna happen. So we're gonna hand fly this in. And we're already too high because it did not catch. So luckily we have no wind to speak of. Looks like there's an airplane on the runway or taking off maybe. I don't know what the deal is. Oh, they're on final. Okay.
City Liner 584 contact Rome Center on
Maybe they just
131
left. I
decimal
don't
1.
know. I believe they just took off. So we're probably a little low. I'd rather be low than trying to get down.
584.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100.
Got
60.
red, so that means we're too low, but
20. Retard. 5.
and we're on the ground. So our auto brakes are engaged, they are kicking in. So although the ILS didn't catch because our approach was off, not sure why, it did that the other night. But I don't know. It's okay. We're on the ground. We're on the ground and gonna turn
84 Eastern, next taxiway. 84 is contact ground on 122.125.
Yeah, we'll contact ground. Not. All right,
Going
so
to
we're gonna go ahead and go
122.125,
from.
84 ACD.
We're gonna go ahead and go to taxi. Turn our landing lights to off. I don't know. Maybe we need our landing because you can't see. We're just gonna taxi over here, park somewhere. But guys, that it was strange because, like I said, we did not connect, didn't hit that localizer, mainly because the approach mode was off for whatever reason. Not really sure what happened there, but that can happen, and it did. But we got it down. We landed smoothly. Not a huge deal. I'll definitely see what the problem was there. Maybe one of you guys caught it and I didn't. Not sure. Go ahead and go into here. All right, this looks like a good enough spot. We'll go ahead and turn engine 2, engine 1 off. Turn all this off. Go ahead and turn all of our anti-ice off. I like to go ahead and get all the lights off here before we actually shut the battery down. Battery, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the fuel pumps off. And we will go to APU, should have already been off, but we'll go ahead and turn battery 1 and 2 off. And so now there you go, cold and dark. But guys, that was a fun flight. We flew from Paris, France to Rome, Italy, or Roma as they call it. And it was a good flight. The ILS system we just didn't quite catch there for the localizer. Approach mode was off for whatever reason, even though it was turned on. Not really sure, but we did get the airplane down, landed smoothly. Everything went fine. The airplane is in one piece, and we can walk away from this landing. But on the next flight, we are going to be going from Rome to Africa somewhere. Got to figure out exactly where. And there may be a payware review video coming up either before or after that next video to Africa. But either way, guys, that'll do it for this Elite Ace Aviation video. Thank you guys for flying with us. And until next time, happy flying.
Just let go.